Your circumstances in life right now are a direct result of the vision that you've had for your life up until this point. Hey guys, Randy Gage back with another episode of the Power Prosperity Podcast. And again, I put on the laptop so I can see all you beautiful people out there in YouTube land, and you can see me. So you can check how dark the circles under my eyes are this week. And this is a continuation from the last episode for you guys listening on the podcast. It was episode 540. Title was "You Didn't Get Here by Accident." And that show is about your financial state, what kind of prosperity you've manifested. And of course, it's the kind of show you're either going to love it or you're going to hate me like poison, because I'm telling you that you're responsible for what happens in your life. And I get that there are random things that happen to all of us, but there are random events, but there are no random lives. And one of the things I asked you to do was work on your vision, because I believe your vision is what helps put you in that scenario where you get there. And I thought I'm going to have them listen to some of the, old podcasts on vision. So I went looking through 540 podcasts, and I didn't have one dedicated exclusively to how you craft a vision, an empowering vision that pulls you toward prosperity. So I promised to do it. That's what this show is right here. So when I say your current circumstances are a result of the vision you've had up to this point, I know there's people that immediate response is, well, no, that's my problem. I don't really have a vision. And what I will posit is that everyone has a vision, and you have a vision, and you might not realize that you have a neutral vision, or you even have a negative vision. Because there really are three kinds of vision. The positive kind, which is what most people think about when we say, hey, a vision for your life. But there's millions and millions of people with a neutral vision, which is just getting through the work week, trying to make ends meet, finishing up, grabbing a 12-pack, binging on Netflix all weekend until Monday, when they start their life of quiet desperation all over again. And they don't aspire to anything greater because they don't have a positive vision. They just have that neutral vision. And then, of course, there are people with negative visions. If you were the victim of abuse, if you had abusive parents, if you grew up bouncing around different foster homes, if you lost loved ones early on in your life, there's a lot of things could happen to cause you to get low self-esteem, create an expectation of bad things happen, and then you kind of develop this consciousness where you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're always waiting for the next calamity. And one of the things I say frequently that pisses people off is when the victim is ready, the calamity will appear. Or when the victim is ready, the tragedy will appear. And I don't say that to be spiteful or snarky. I'm trying to wake up people who haven't recognized there is a truth to this, that when we create these expectations of negativity, we will attract people and circumstances in our life that create negative scenarios. So let's recognize the three types of vision, and let's make a commitment. And for you guys on YouTube, I want to see you down in the comments. Make a commitment that you're going to go through the process of creating an empowering vision. a positive vision for your prosperity. So let's talk about how to do that. It's some pretty simple steps that when you add them together and on and on and on, they create quite a profound effect. The first of them, I think what you have to do is you've got to figure out, okay, what would the kind of life that I would, what kind of life would it be that a positive vision would pull me toward? And that starts with your perfect day. Just think about, okay, if I didn't have my job, if I didn't have my business, if I wasn't facing this stress or this broken marriage or this dysfunctional relationship or this health challenge or whatever might be really causing you some pain right now, ask yourself, what would the perfect day look like for you? And I believe that's, to me, what started off is I realized, I don't want to work for people anymore. I got to the point where I was like psychologically unemployable. If I was going to work for anybody, one of us was going to die. I was going to murder them or they were going to murder me, because I just was chafing under the restraints of working in jobs I didn't like, for people that I didn't like, under circumstances that I didn't believe were fair, for wages that I didn't think were equitable. And plus I had a lot of victim mentality myself anyway. So when I thought about what the perfect life was, it had to entail being my own boss. I had always wanted to write the great American novel. I wanted to become a writer. So I thought, well, whatever my perfect day was, it would involve writing. I wanted it to be a citizen of the world. So I thought the perfect day would probably involve some travel. And I didn't want to have like an office to go to. So I kind of had this vision that I was going to have a life where I could manifest the prosperous lifestyle, traveling the world, being a citizen of the world, going around with my laptop, working under a palm tree in Hawaii, or on my balcony in Sydney, or sitting on the beach in my place in Costa Rica, or in the, a little cafe, Cafe Rook on, what's the name of that street? Rue Saint-Honoré in Paris, and that's the life I manifested. And I believe I got it because I first thought of what was my perfect day. So think about that. What would your perfect day look like? And, what would your occupation be? What would your relationships look like? What would your hobbies or interests be? What kind of skills would you possess? What would that perfect day entail? And then you might want to do something that's kind of fun, which is write a movie script of your perfect day, where you just literally write a story of your day, your perfect day. You wake up and you want to involve all of your senses, sight, smell, sound, everything. So you draft this. Wow, you hear that thunder? It's a storm here in Miami today. So you think of that perfect day, and so you wake up, when you finish sleeping, and you smell the coffee percolating from downstairs where your housekeeper is getting your breakfast ready, and you hear the birds chirping outside your window and the beautiful trees you have in your yard, or the hotel you're staying at in Dominican Republic on the ocean, or whatever it is. And maybe it's the day you're going to, the Oscars because you're nominated for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, or maybe it's the day you take your company public on the NASDAQ, or maybe it's the day your opera is premiered and at the Met. Whatever your new dance show is debuted at the theater. Your book hits the bestseller list, write out that script and involve, again, all of those senses. You feel the breeze coming through the window, everything, because that's programming your subconscious mind, and it's anchoring that vision into your subconscious mind. I've written 14 books. I probably said it 10,000 times in every one of them, but your subconscious mind is much more powerful than your conscious mind. When the subconscious mind and the conscious mind come into conflict, the subconscious mind always wins. So it's really important you craft this vision and you program it into your subconscious mind. So writing a movie script like that is one of the ways to do that. So start with the perfect day and then expand that out to your life. Then you know, okay, if the dream is to be a Pulitzer Prize winning novelist, or to be the author of a Broadway show, or to, become the next tech billionaire, whatever it is. So you take the perfect day. Now you know what the perfect week might look like, what the perfect month might look like. And pretty soon it has you created a tapestry of your perfect life. So after the movie script, I want you to create a prosperity manifestation map, a poster board. Just go to the art supply store, go on Amazon, get a big piece of poster board, and you fill it with images of things you would like to do, have, or become. So if the dream is to take your family to Disney World, you got a picture of Mickey Mouse there. If your dream is to play for the Los Angeles Dodgers, you've got the Dodger Stadium there. If your dream is to write a New York Times bestseller, which was one of mine, I literally got the New York Times bestseller list. I cut it out of the newspaper, and I whited out an author's name and I put my name there. And yes, I've literally had 2 books which hit the New York Times bestseller list. And I'm telling you, the reason that happened is because I had it on my manifestation map. So they don't have to mean anything to anyone else. Don't advertise it. Don't post it on Facebook. You don't need the peanut gallery chirping in and telling you you're foolish, or you're not being realistic, or maybe they don't support you. Keep it to yourself, but have it somewhere where you're going to see it every day. Every time you go by, even with your peripheral view, you will see that, and it's making impressions on your subconscious mind. I'm a big believer in affirmations. I like to speak them out loud when I wake up in the morning. I like to write them out in a journal. I'd recommend both of those. And the next thing would be a little dicey for some of you. Make an inventory of the people you're close to, the people you really spend the most time with, and ask yourself, are these people that empower me? Are these people who support the vision that I'm creating? Or are these people who would be petty or jealous, or maybe even downright try to sabotage you? And you need to really have that inventory of who are the people in your life and what do they mean to you? And then you're going to have to modulate the amount of time you spend with them. We all have some people that maybe are negative and we really can't get away from them in the way we would like. You may be married to them. You might be related to them. You might work 8 hours a day in the cubicle next to them. So you're going to have to balance that out. If you've got 1 or 2 really negative people in your life, you've got to find a way to add value to positive people, that they want to spend time with you and you want to spend time with them, and you feed each other positive energy, and you create that kind of a support structure. And from there, you start jotting down, really write them down, whether it's on your phone or in a journal, but get some goals, write them down. and stagger them out a little, have some achievable goals that you can achieve in a reasonable time period and create, a reward for yourself and for your behavior is rewarded and you see progress and it builds your belief. It makes your vision stronger. And then some stretch goals, right? That, okay, there's some easily attainable goals. You want to achieve those and start feeling positive about it. But you also want to have some stretch goals, bold, daring, imaginative goals that challenge you. I like to call them magnetic goals. I want goals that are so magnetic, they pull you toward them. And when you do this process, what happens is you keep accelerating. So once you start hanging around more with positive people, you meet other positive people, you reinforce the positivity in each other, you're vibrating at a higher level. You start to get more positive people in your life. You start to get less negative people in your life. You start to, there's people, it might be the guy you were in the band with when you were 16 years old, it might be a childhood best friend, it might be somebody you went to college with, where at that point in your life, you had a lot in common and there was something there. But now, as your consciousness has developed, you may find, I'm kind of growing away from this person. And it really doesn't bring me joy and enrichment or enhance my life when I spend so much time with them. So maybe I'm not going to go to dinner with them once a week. Maybe that's going to be every other week. Maybe it's going to be once a month. But that happens. You start to attract more podcasts and more positive blogs and reading more positive books. And that, again, reinforces the positivity. It accelerates the process. Your vision gets a little bigger. Think of some of these earlier shows I've done where we talk about that window through which you see the world and how your perspective expands as your consciousness expands. And that's how you do it, boys and girls. It's just incremental, it's step by step, but it's just beginning with, hey, what would the perfect day look like? What would the week be? How does that morph into a month? And how does that eventually create my dream life? Now you have a vision. You have some positive steps to take to get there. The next move is up to you. Make the most of it. Go out and have an amazing day. Peace. I love you guys.